Okay, so I intended to make this video several months ago, but I just didn't have the balls to. I was about 90% confident in what I thought, but that other 10% just lingered a little bit too much. Today I will be talking about how the Knicks fans, the media, seemingly everyone else, somehow deluded themselves into thinking it was foolproof that they would get Zion, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. All of this despite several glaring holes in their organization. Yes, this was the narrative for months, right after the Kristaps Porzingis trade. A move that involved trading their franchise player, which we were told was to solely clear up cap space to sign the big fish in the offseason. Everyone was in on it, with ESPN's posting stuff like this, Stephen A. Smith regularly predicting that Kevin Durant goes to the Knicks, as well as the Vegas odds being as high as 16-1, which was good for 6th highest out of any NBA team before free agency started. And it seems like only two things were considered when making these lofty, unrealistic expectations. The first being that New York is a great basketball city rich in history, and that it's a good place for celebrities to live. Nothing else was considered. No glaring holes in the organization, nothing. The first gaping hole in Knicks fans' expectations were for the Zion Sweepstakes. The Knicks finished in dead last this past season, which before Sam Hinkie actually meant something. But now, due to new rule changes, the bottom three teams now have the same exact odds at landing the first overall pick at 14%, with the fourth and fifth lowest teams not too far behind at 12.5% and 10.5% respectively. Just because the Zion and New York tandem would have caused a lot of fanfare didn't mean that the Knicks were going to win the lottery. Of course they didn't, they fell to third, and the Pelicans won the lottery and drafted Zion, leaving a lot of New York fans very, very depressed. The second glaring hole is overlooking what free agents could actually build around in New York. In today's NBA, it seems like free agents want to win rings now more than ever. It is why Boogie went to the Warriors last year. It's why KD went to the Warriors in the first place. It's why Anthony Davis demanded to be paired with LeBron in LA. There was just very little to build around in New York coming into this offseason. Currently, they have 4 players on their roster selected in the top 10 within the last 5 drafts, not including RJ Barrett, and all of them have very little to show for it so far in their careers. Free agents want to win now, and nobody in their right mind can look at the Knicks for anything other than what it is, which is a long-term project. Let's take a look at some of the stats from this past year. They were third to last in points per game, last in assists to turnover ratio, last in shooting percentage, and of course last in the NBA. I have followed some shitty teams very closely over the past decade, and will tell you that veterans on their way out of the NBA will literally choose to fall off the face of the earth rather than play for a rebuilding team. And lastly, one thing everybody overlooked is the competency of the New York Knicks front office. And listen, I don't have much intel about what actually goes on in Knicks headquarters, but there is something to be said about a former Knicks legend wanting to fight Knicks owner James Dolan, that same owner threatening to ban a fan for life for saying that he should sell the team, and that same owner being one of the most hated men in the entire city of New York. And oh, by the way, they haven't made the playoffs since 2013. These reasons might make free agents and their agents a little bit hesitant to sign in New York. Dolan echoed what a lot of fans thought. Simply because New York is rich in basketball history and a nice place to live for celebrities, like I previously said, that New York is going to have a, quote, very successful offseason. Well, one team in New York certainly did. There are reports that while the Knicks may not have had an official meeting with Kevin Durant, Woj reported that they were not willing to offer Kevin Durant the max. And if I were a Knicks fan, I would be pissed. Other teams can surely take that approach with a win-now mentality, as Durant's going to most likely sit out the next year due to injury. But the Knicks don't have that luxury. They should have taken the chance on Durant, because who knows when a generational talent like that will even consider the Knicks moving forward, especially considering the low crop of 2020 free agents. And finally, on this point, to all the people that said, well, Durant's injury certainly changed everything, as well as not landing Zion. Well, you may be right, but you're kind of missing the point. To have such a drastic rebuild, everything needed to go in the Knicks' favor, and nothing did. You have to consider luck here, folks. Now I would actually like to conclude with my thoughts that the Knicks actually had a very good offseason if you had low expectations going in and considered how bad they were last year. Signing guys like Wayne Ellington, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, Julius Randle, as well as drafting RJ Barrett is nothing to scoff at. At the very least, they have something to build around in New York now going into next offseason. And while next offseason doesn't have the best crop of free agents, look forward to 2021 when the Knicks are the favorites to sign LeBron, Bronny, and Giannis. Alright, the last part was a joke. Alright, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and check out the website. Air Baby D, play us off.
Wanna see where the right at? Hit him with a step back. Told you bitch I'll be right back. Salty and sweet, cause big bread sweeter than a Kit Kat. SSO is fucking red. SSO